Have you ever held your child close, looked into their eyes, and felt something deeper than love? A feeling so familiar as if you've known them before this life. Have you ever wondered why this child? Why did this particular soul come into my life? Was it just chance, or is there a deeper spiritual reason behind it? According to the great spiritual master Paramhansa Yogananda, there is no accident in the souls we meet, especially not in the ones who come through us as our children. He said something profound and often misunderstood: your child is your karma. These simple words carry layers of meaning full of love, truth, and a quiet invitation to look within. What does it mean when we say a child is our karma? Are we paying for something? Are we being blessed? Or is something even more divine unfolding beneath the surface? In this exploration, we will dive deep into the heart of this teaching. We'll explore how the ancient law of karma governs relationships, how your child reflects your soul's journey, and why parenthood is one of the most powerful spiritual responsibilities given to a human being. Whether your child brings joy or challenges, ease or pain, you are not just raising a child. You are walking with a soul you've known before, a soul that has chosen you and whom you may have chosen long ago. This journey isn't about judgment or guilt. It is about awareness, healing, and love. Because once you understand the deeper meaning of your child's presence in your life, everything begins to shift from confusion to clarity, from burden to blessing. Let us begin by understanding the foundation of this entire teaching. What is karma really? So many people hear the word karma and immediately think of punishment or something negative. But karma is not about revenge or suffering. Karma is simply the law of cause and effect, a divine principle that governs all existence. Every thought we think, every word we speak, and every action we take creates an energy. And that energy must return to us in some form, just as a seed once planted must eventually bear fruit. This is not a harsh cosmic judgment, but a loving universal law designed to teach us, guide us, and help us evolve. Karma is not something outside of us. It is not a cosmic judge handing out rewards and punishments from some distant throne. As Paramhansa Yogananda gently taught, karma is the result of your own past actions. It is your own soul teaching you through experience what it still needs to learn. It is love in disguise. It is education, not punishment. Think of it this way: just as we go to school to learn lessons through different subjects, our soul comes into life to learn lessons through different experiences. Sometimes those experiences are joyful, filled with light and laughter. Sometimes they are painful, challenging us to grow in ways we never imagined, but are necessary for the soul's evolution. Karma simply brings us the exact situations, people, and relationships we need to evolve. It is like a wise teacher who knows exactly what each student needs to learn and provides the perfect curriculum for their growth. And among all these relationships, the bond between parent and child is one of the most intense and powerful karmic connections we can have. In fact, it is often through family that karma returns most quickly and directly, because it is here that we are most vulnerable, most open, and most emotionally involved. Our defenses are down, our hearts are exposed. And in this sacred vulnerability, the deepest healing and learning can occur. The family unit becomes a spiritual laboratory where souls work out their deepest lessons together. Every interaction, Every moment of joy or conflict, every tear and every laugh becomes part of this divine curriculum. The intensity of family relationships accelerates our spiritual growth in ways that might take lifetimes to achieve otherwise. So, as we continue this journey together, keep this truth in your heart. Karma is not here to harm you. It is here to awaken you. It is here to polish the diamond of your soul until it shines with divine light. And when your child enters your life, they carry with them a piece of your karmic story waiting to unfold in divine timing. Now that we understand what karma is, let us go deeper and ask, why do certain souls become our children? Out of billions of souls in the universe, why does this particular one come into your home, your arms, your life? The truth is, there are no accidents in the divine plan. The soul that comes to you as your child is not random. It is not a cosmic lottery where names are drawn from a hat. It is a soul that you have been connected with before, perhaps in this life or even in many lifetimes past. Paramhansa Yogananda reminded us beautifully, you do not own your child. You are only a guardian for a time. Guide them, but let them walk their own soul's path. This profound truth changes everything about how we approach parenting. This means you are not here to control their destiny, but to support it. You are not the author of their life story, you are a loving chapter in their book. And while you may help shape the early pages with your guidance, protection, and love, they must write the rest with their own hands, following the inner compass of their own soul's purpose. Your role is more like that of a spiritual midwife, helping to birth their authentic self into the world. You provide the safe space, the nourishment, the encouragement they need to discover who they really are. But the person they become is already written in the stars of their soul. At the same time, their presence gives you countless opportunities to rise above your limitations. Their unconditional love can heal wounds from your own childhood. Their innocent questions can expand your awareness and challenge assumptions you didn't even know you held. Their very presence can soften your heart in ways you never thought possible. Children have a remarkable ability to live in the present moment, to find joy in simple things, to forgive quickly, and to love without conditions. These are advanced spiritual qualities that many adults spend years trying to develop through meditation and spiritual practice. Yet children embody them naturally, becoming our teachers in the most fundamental aspects of enlightened living. So, dear soul, do not just ask, "What should I teach my child?" Instead, gently ask, "What is my child here to teach me? How is their soul trying to awaken mine? What qualities are they modeling that I need to develop?" When you approach parenthood with this mutual respect and openness to learning, when you walk together as fellow travelers on the spiritual path rather than as superior and subordinate, karma begins to lift and parenting becomes a path to spiritual awakening for both of you. The relationship becomes less about power and control and more about love and growth. Less about fear and protection and more about trust and expansion. Less about holding on and more about letting go at just the right moments. Sometimes, the relationship between a parent and a child is not smooth sailing. There may be constant friction, deep misunderstandings, or emotional pain that seems to have no clear source or solution. In such moments, you may find yourself asking, "Why is this happening? Why is this so difficult? What did I do to deserve this?" The answer, dear soul, often lies in karmic cycles carried over from past lives, old patterns of interaction that are now surfacing to be healed and released. If your child constantly tests your patience, resists your guidance, or triggers old emotions that you thought you had resolved, it may not be because they are inherently bad or wrong, but because there is an old karmic knot between your souls that is asking to be untied. Perhaps, in a past life, you were the child and they were the parent, and roles of authority were misused. Maybe you were siblings who competed for love and attention, creating wounds that carried forward. Or possibly you were teacher and student, friend and friend, or even strangers whose paths crossed in meaningful ways that left unfinished business. The specific details matter less than understanding the principle. Difficult relationships often signal the deepest opportunities for healing and growth. The souls that challenge us the most are often the ones who love us enough to help us break free from limiting patterns. So how do we respond when the karmic weight feels heavy? Do we react in anger, punishment, or guilt? Do we blame ourselves or blame them? No. We respond with awareness, with consciousness, with love. Paramhansa Yogananda lovingly taught, karma can be changed not by regret or guilt, but by right action in the present moment. This is perhaps one of the most liberating truths in all spiritual teaching. The past may have created the current situation, but the present moment holds the power to transform it. This means that even if the past brought pain, confusion, or conflict, the present can bring healing, understanding, and peace. You have the power to break negative karmic patterns by choosing a higher response, not just once, but consistently, with patience and determination. Instead of reacting automatically from old patterns, try to pause, breathe deeply, and respond with consciousness and understanding. If harsh words want to arise, try silence instead. If judgment wants to take over, try compassion. If fear shows up, try responding with love. This doesn't mean being permissive or failing to provide guidance and boundaries. It means approaching these challenges from a place of spiritual awareness rather than unconscious reaction. It means seeing the difficult behavior as a call for healing rather than a personal attack. Your child gives you the perfect opportunity to do things differently this time. Every act of patience when impatience would be easier. Every moment of forgiveness when resentment would feel justified. Every choice of understanding when judgment would be automatic. These conscious responses rewrite the script of your shared karma. Each time you choose love over fear, peace over conflict, understanding over judgment, you create new energy between you. This new energy begins to dissolve the old patterns and create space for healthier ways of relating. Remember, karma is not fixed like concrete. It is fluid, like a river, always moving, always capable of changing course. And with love as your boat and consciousness as your compass, you can navigate even the most turbulent waters and find your way to calmer shores. The key is consistency and patience. Karmic patterns that took lifetimes to create may not dissolve overnight, but every conscious choice you make weakens the old pattern and strengthens the new one. Every moment of love and awareness adds to the healing momentum. So whenever things feel particularly intense between you and your child, try to see it not as a punishment for past mistakes, but as a sacred opportunity to heal, to grow, and to finally free both your souls from old chains that no longer serve your highest good. This is the silent miracle of karma transformed by love, the alchemy that turns lead into gold, conflict into compassion, and wounds into wisdom. There are times when a child is born with special needs, chronic illness, developmental challenges, or deep sensitivities that set them apart from what society considers normal. As a parent, this can be one of life's most emotionally challenging and spiritually demanding experiences. You may find yourself asking heartbreaking questions. Why did this happen to my child? Why me? What did I do wrong? How will we manage? What kind of life will they have? But from a spiritual perspective, this situation is not a punishment, a mistake, or evidence of some cosmic injustice. It is often a sign of a higher karmic role chosen by both souls before birth, a sacred contract written in the stars before either of you took physical form. Paramhansa Yogananda taught that souls who choose a difficult life path, such as being born with disabilities or chronic challenges, are often advanced souls seeking rapid spiritual evolution. They are not victims of random misfortune, but spiritual warriors who choose the most challenging assignments because they have the inner strength to handle them and the wisdom to know what such experiences can teach. These souls choose this path not from weakness or as punishment, but with tremendous courage and profound inner strength. They come knowing that their journey will be more difficult in conventional terms, but also knowing that it will accelerate their spiritual growth and provide unique opportunities to serve others. And the parents who care for them? They too are very special souls, chosen specifically to walk this sacred journey together. You are not randomly assigned this role. Your soul agreed to this path because you have the capacity for the kind of deep, unconditional love that such a journey requires. Yogananda said beautifully, "You are serving not a burden, but a blessing in disguise, a master soul who has come to awaken your heart." This perspective completely transforms how we understand these relationships. In these cases, your role extends far beyond that of a typical caregiver. You become a spiritual companion, helping this brave soul fulfill their deeper purpose on earth. You become a guardian of something sacred, a keeper of divine light that shines differently, but no less brightly than others. The challenges you face together may feel overwhelming at times. The sleepless nights, the medical appointments, the worry about the future, the financial stress, the social isolation that sometimes comes with caring for a special needs child. But within each of these challenges lie tremendous opportunities for developing qualities that fast-track spiritual evolution, unconditional love, infinite patience, deep humility, and divine grace. These children often radiate a unique purity that touches everyone they meet. They carry a wisdom that seems to come from beyond their years, a presence that can heal hearts in ways that words cannot express. Their very being becomes a teaching about what truly matters in life. They strip away society's superficial values and bring us back to the essentials: love, presence, acceptance, and joy in simple moments. They teach us to slow down, to appreciate small victories, to find profound meaning in everyday interactions. They show us that worth is not measured by achievements or abilities, but by the light that shines from within. Many people who interact with special needs, children report feeling blessed by the encounter, touched by something pure and holy that reminds them of their own divine nature. These children become teachers, not only for their parents, but for entire communities, spreading ripples of compassion and understanding wherever they go. The parents of such children often develop levels of patience, strength, and unconditional love that might have taken many lifetimes to achieve otherwise. They learn to advocate fiercely while surrendering deeply, to hope boldly while accepting completely, to love without limits while releasing expectation. So, if you have been blessed with such a child, please know this: your soul and their soul chose each other for the most divine of reason. This was not an accident, not bad luck, not punishment. This was two advanced souls agreeing to help each other evolve rapidly through the vehicle of extraordinary love. Every act of care you provide, every tear you shed, every smile you share, every sleepless night, every small victory you celebrate together, all of it is part of a holy offering that is healing karma and uplifting both your soul's journey toward the light. Your love for this child is refining your heart like gold in fire, burning away everything that is not essential and leaving only the pure essence of divine love. And that transformation will bless not only you and your child, but everyone whose life you touch. The karmic connections within a family extend beyond just parent and child. Siblings, too, are part of this divine arrangement, souls who have chosen to incarnate together to work out various lessons and relationships. Brothers and sisters often carry karmic debts and credits between them. One sibling might be naturally giving while another tends to receive, balancing accounts from previous lifetimes. Siblings might challenge each other to develop patience, sharing, forgiveness, or healthy competition. The birth order itself can be karmically significant. The responsible oldest child, the attention-seeking middle child, the cherished youngest, these roles often reflect soul choices made to learn specific lessons about leadership, compromise, or independence. Sometimes parents find themselves loving their children differently, not less or more, but in different ways. This, too, can be karmic, reflecting the unique relationships each soul has built with the parent over many lifetimes. One child might feel like an old friend, another like a wise teacher, and yet another like someone they're just getting to know. Understanding these dynamics can bring great peace to families struggling with complex relationships between siblings or between parents and different children. It's not about favoritism or failure as a parent. It's about honoring the unique karmic bond you share with each soul in your family constellation, breaking generational patterns, healing the family line. One of the most powerful aspects of understanding karma in families is recognizing how we can break negative patterns that have been passed down through generations. Alcoholism, abuse, poverty, consciousness, limiting beliefs about worth or capability. These patterns often repeat through family lines until one soul develops enough consciousness to break the cycle. When you parent with awareness, you have the opportunity to be that soul who stops the harmful patterns and begins new, healthier ones. Every time you respond with patience instead of anger, love instead of fear, encouragement instead of criticism, you're not just helping your child, you're healing your entire family line, backward and forward through time. This is one of the most profound responsibilities and opportunities of conscious parenting, becoming the healing agent that transforms not just your relationship with your child, but the spiritual DNA of your entire family lineage. Your children and their children will inherit the new patterns you create, patterns of love, awareness, spiritual understanding, and emotional health. In this way, your conscious parenting becomes a gift to generations you'll never meet, but whose lives you'll profoundly impact. The teenage years often bring a particular intensity to the parent-child karmic relationship. This is when children begin to individuate, to separate from their parents and discover who they are as independent beings. The process can be tumultuous, filled with conflict, rebellion, and emotional storms that test every aspect of the relationship. From a karmic perspective, the teenage years are when many of the deeper soul lessons between parent and child come to the surface. The child may challenge every value, every rule, every assumption they've been taught. They may seem to reject everything you've tried to give them, becoming almost unrecognizable from the sweet child you once knew. This is actually a healthy and necessary part of their soul's development, but it can trigger tremendous fear and pain in parents. Old karmic wounds may surface, fears of abandonment, issues with control, unresolved conflicts from your own adolescence. The key during this time is to remember that your teenager's behavior is not a reflection of your failure as a parent, but rather their soul's attempt to discover its own authentic expression. Your role shifts from director to consultant, from protector to guide who stands ready to help when asked. Many of the conflicts during teenage years are actually opportunities for both souls to practice the highest spiritual principles: unconditional love, non-attachment, trust in the divine plan, and faith that love is stronger than any temporary rebellion or misunderstanding. Adoption and step-parenting relationships offer beautiful examples of how karma transcends blood relationships. The souls who come into your life as adopted or stepchildren are just as karmically connected to you as biological children, perhaps even more so, since the relationship was chosen and created through conscious intention rather than biological accident. These children often carry specific lessons about unconditional love, about family being created by heart rather than blood, about the power of choice in spiritual relationships. The parents who choose to love a child not biologically their own are often advanced souls practicing some of the highest forms of divine love. The challenges in these relationships, questions of loyalty, identity, belonging, create opportunities for all involved to develop profound spiritual qualities and to understand that love truly has no boundaries when it flows from the soul level. One of the greatest karmic lessons in parenting comes when it's time to let go when children grow up, move away, start their own families, or in the most difficult cases, when they pass from this world before their parents do. The parent-child bond is so intense, so primal, that releasing it challenges us to practice the highest spiritual principle, loving without attachment. This doesn't mean loving less, but rather loving with the understanding that all souls ultimately belong to the divine, not to us. When children leave through natural growing up, through conflict and estrangement, or through death, parents are called to practice the ultimate spiritual lesson, surrendering those we love most to their own highest good, even when that good doesn't include staying close to us. This is perhaps the most advanced course in the curriculum of karma, learning to love so purely that we can release what we love most, trusting that divine love will care for them better than our human love ever could. As we reach the culmination of this exploration, let us ask, what is the ultimate purpose of this karmic bond between parent and child? Is it only to fulfill duties, balance old debts, and learn necessary lessons? Or is there something even more sacred hidden within this relationship? The truth is, karma is not the end goal, liberation is. The purpose of all spiritual relationships, including the parent-child bond, is not to stay forever entangled in karmic cycles, but to rise above them into the realm of pure, unconditional divine love. The most powerful way to transcend karma is through love, not the love that clings, controls, or fears, but the love that is pure, selfless, and free. Not the love that says you are mine, but the love that says you are divine, and I am blessed to serve your highest good. Paramhansa Yogananda taught that when we begin to love our children, not as our possessions, but as divine souls temporarily entrusted to our care, we begin to dissolve karma entirely. He said, God is the real parent. You are but the caretaker. Serve with devotion, but surrender with detachment. This teaching points to the highest level of spiritual parenting, learning to give completely without expecting anything in return, to guide wisely without forcing outcomes, to love unconditionally without holding on too tightly when it's time to let go. True spiritual love uplifts the soul and allows it to fly toward its highest destiny. It doesn't try to keep loved ones small, dependent, or close for the ego's comfort. It celebrates their growth, supports their independence, and blesses their journey even when that journey leads them far from us. The more you live from this space of selfless service and divine love, the more peace you will feel within your own heart. Old emotional reactions begin to fade. Fears about your child's future transform into trust in their divine destiny. Anxiety about whether you're parenting correctly dissolves into faith that love is always the right answer. Slowly, the heavy karmic ties that once bound you begin to loosen, making room for relationships based on freedom rather than obligation, joy rather than duty, love rather than need. The relationship continues, but it's elevated to a higher octave, two souls choosing to dance together, not because they must, but because they love to. When you truly see your child as a divine soul walking their own sacred path, you also remember that you too are a soul learning to walk in divine light. Parenting then becomes not just a responsibility, but a spiritual practice, not just a role, but a form of worship. In this elevated understanding, karma is no longer a heavy chain that binds you together, but a golden bridge that leads both of you closer to your true nature, closer to perfect love, closer to God. The child, who once seemed to be your karma, reveals themselves to be your greatest spiritual teacher, your path to liberation, your doorway to divine love. And you discover that in learning to love them perfectly, you've learned to love all beings perfectly, which is the ultimate goal of all spiritual practice. Understanding the karmic nature of the parent-child relationship is profound, but how do we live this truth in our daily lives? How do we apply these spiritual principles when we're dealing with tantrums, homework battles, teenage rebellion, or the countless practical challenges of raising children? The key lies in bringing conscious awareness to each interaction. Before reacting to challenging behavior, pause and ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? How can I respond from love rather than fear? What would serve both our soul's highest growth right now? This doesn't mean becoming permissive or failing to provide necessary structure and guidance. Children need boundaries, consistency, and clear expectations. But these can be provided from a place of love and spiritual awareness rather than ego and control. When your child is acting out, instead of immediately jumping to punishment, try to look deeper. What need are they trying to express? What lesson might this behavior be offering both of you? How can you address the situation in a way that promotes growth rather than just compliance? When they succeed, celebrate not just their achievement, but their effort, their character development, their unique way of expressing their divine nature. Help them see themselves as souls on a journey rather than just humans trying to meet external expectations. In moments of conflict, remember that you're both souls working out ancient patterns together. This perspective can help you stay calm, respond with wisdom, and maintain the love that will ultimately heal whatever needs healing between you. When you parent with spiritual awareness, understanding your child as your karma in the most loving sense, you're not just transforming your own family, you're contributing to the healing of the entire world. Children who are raised with this understanding grow up knowing they are divine souls having human experiences. They develop healthy self-worth, deep compassion for others, and an understanding of life's spiritual dimensions that will guide them throughout their lives. These children often become the healers, teachers, and conscious leaders the world desperately needs. They carry within them the seeds of a more awakened humanity, planted by parents who understood the sacred nature of their role. Moreover, the healing energy generated by conscious parent-child relationships ripples out into communities, affecting teachers, friends, extended family members, and anyone who encounters these transformed relationships. In this way, understanding and living the truth that your child is your karma becomes not just personal spiritual practice, but a contribution to the evolution of human consciousness itself. Dear soul, if you've journeyed with me through this entire exploration, I want to thank you from the depths of my heart. You didn't just read words on a page, you opened your heart to a profound spiritual truth that can transform not just your understanding of parenting, but your entire approach to life and love.